The courtroom was packed, every seat filled with spectators who'd heard about the case, the messy divorce that was supposed to end with me losing everything. My wife Amanda sat at the plaintiff's table, her lawyer Bradley Hutchinson beside her, both of them wearing expressions that screamed victory. They thought they'd won before the judge even spoke. They thought I was finished. Bradley leaned back in his expensive chair, his $4,000 suit catching the fluorescent lights, and laughed. Actually laughed out loud in that courtroom. "Enjoy your new life," he said, loud enough for everyone to hear. "You'll be leaving with nothing." Amanda turned to look at me, and the smirk on her face was the cruelest thing I'd ever seen. "You should have been a better husband, Nathan." The judge, Honorable Patricia Brennan, looked up from her papers. "Mr. Foster, do you have any final words before I render my decision?" I stood up slowly. My hands were steady. My voice was calm. "Actually, yes. I'd like to submit this as evidence." I handed my lawyer, Jennifer Cole, a manila envelope. She passed it to the bailiff, who delivered it to Judge Brennan. The courtroom went silent. You could hear people breathing, waiting. Judge Brennan opened the envelope. Her eyes scanned the first page, then widened. She flipped to the second page, then the third. Her expression changed from neutral to shocked to absolutely furious. Amanda's face went from smug to confused to pale white in about 10 seconds. Bradley Hutchinson stood up. "Your Honor, we object to this last-minute submission. We haven't had time to review." "Sit down, Mr. Hutchinson," Judge Brennan said, her voice sharp as a blade. "You're going to want to see this." That's when I knew I'd won. That's when Amanda knew her world was about to collapse. My name is Nathan Foster. I'm 43 years old, and 3 months ago, I thought my life was perfect. I ran a successful financial consulting firm in Portland, made enough money that my family never wanted for anything, and I'd been married to Amanda for 17 years. We had 2 kids, Olivia, who's 15, and Tyler, who's 12. Good kids, smart, kind, the type of children that made you proud to be a parent. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me start from the beginning, from the moment I discovered that everything I'd built was a lie. Before we go any further, if you're enjoying this story and want to hear more like it, please hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment below telling me what you think Nathan should do next, and smash that like button. It really helps the channel grow. Now, back to the story. It started 6 months ago on a Tuesday evening. Amanda had been acting different for about 3 months by then. Distant. Secretive. She'd taken up new hobbies, started working out more, bought new clothes that she never wore around me. Classic signs, right? But I trusted her. 17 years of marriage, I trusted her completely. That Tuesday, I came home early from a client meeting that got canceled. The house was quiet. Amanda's car was in the driveway, but she wasn't in the kitchen or living room. I heard voices upstairs, laughter. A man's voice mixed with my wife's. My heart started pounding. I took the stairs slowly, each step feeling like it took an hour. The voices were coming from our bedroom, where I'd slept beside her for nearly 2 decades. I pushed the door open. Amanda was in bed with Ryan Mitchell, my business partner. The man I'd trusted with my company, my financial strategies, my future plans. They were so caught up in each other they didn't even hear the door open. I stood there for maybe 10 seconds before Ryan noticed me. His face went white. Amanda screamed, grabbing sheets to cover herself. "Nathan," she gasped. "This isn't what it looks like." I almost laughed. Actually, I think I did laugh, because what else do you do when the 2 people you trust most in the world are literally caught in the worst cliché possible? "Get out," I said to Ryan. My voice was surprisingly calm. "Pack your things and get out of my house." Ryan scrambled for his clothes, mumbling apologies that meant nothing. Amanda was crying now, mascara running down her face. "Nathan, please, we need to talk about this. It's complicated." "Complicated," I repeated. "You're right. Divorce is going to be very complicated." That was when Amanda's whole demeanor changed. The tears stopped. Her face hardened into something I didn't recognize. "You're not divorcing me," she said coldly. "If anyone's filing, it'll be me. And when I do, you're going to lose everything." The next morning I called my lawyer. Jennifer Cole was a friend from law school, sharp as they come, and she specialized in complex divorce cases. When I told her what happened, she was silent for a long moment. "Nathan, I need to ask you something," Jennifer said carefully. "Do you have any evidence of the affair?" I walked in on them, in my own bed. "That's testimony, not evidence. Amanda will deny it. Ryan will deny it. It becomes he said, she said. Do you have photos, video, messages?" I felt stupid. I'd been so shocked by what I saw that I hadn't thought to document anything. "No, nothing," Jennifer sighed. "Then we need to be strategic about this. Amanda's going to come at you hard. I know her type. She'll claim you were abusive, neglectful, a terrible father. She'll go for custody of the kids and try to take half your business." "She wouldn't do that to the kids. She loves them." "Nathan, people do terrible things in divorce, especially when there's money involved. Your business is worth what, about $8 million? Closer to 10. Then prepare yourself. This is going to get ugly." Jennifer wasn't wrong. 3 days later, a process server showed up at my office with divorce papers. Amanda was claiming irreconcilable differences, demanding full custody of Olivia and Tyler, and asking for 70% of all marital assets, including my business. The allegations in her filing made me sick. She claimed I was emotionally abusive, worked too much, neglected the children, and had anger management issues. None of it was true, but she'd built an entire narrative around these lies. I called Jennifer immediately. "She's accusing me of abuse. How is this legal?" "It's not about what's legal, Nathan. It's about what she can make a judge believe. We need to build our defense carefully. Start documenting everything. Every interaction with Amanda, every conversation with the kids. Keep detailed records." Over the next few months, the divorce proceedings got worse. Amanda hired Bradley Hutchinson, a lawyer known for his scorched-earth tactics in high-asset divorces. He was expensive, brutal, and didn't care about truth, only winning. Amanda moved out of the house with the kids. She claimed she feared for their safety around me, which was complete fiction, but the temporary custody order went in her favor anyway. I got supervised visitation twice a week. Supervised, like I was some kind of danger to my own children. Olivia and Tyler were confused, scared. They didn't understand why their family was falling apart. During our visits, with some court-appointed supervisor watching our every move, Tyler would ask me, "Dad, why can't we just come home?" "Soon, buddy," I'd tell him. "Soon." But I didn't know if that was true. The discovery phase was brutal. Bradley Hutchinson requested every financial document I had, every email, every text message. They were looking for anything they could use against me. Meanwhile, Amanda was playing the victim perfectly. She gave interviews to local press about her abusive marriage, started a blog about surviving domestic emotional abuse, and somehow positioned herself as a brave woman escaping a toxic situation. None of my friends believed her. They knew me. They knew Amanda. But public opinion was shifting in her favor because she controlled the narrative. That's when I made a decision that would change everything. I hired a private investigator named Derek Walsh. Derek was former FBI, specialized in financial crimes and surveillance. I explained the situation to him, told him about Ryan Mitchell, about Amanda's affair, about the divorce. "I need evidence," I said. "Real evidence that proves she's lying about everything." Derek nodded. "Give me 6 weeks. I'll find out what's really going on." What Derek found was beyond anything I'd imagined. Ryan Mitchell hadn't just been sleeping with my wife. He'd been systematically stealing from our company for 2 years. He'd created fake vendor accounts, authorized payments to shell companies he controlled, and siphoned off nearly $1.2 million from our business. But that wasn't all. Amanda knew about it. She'd helped him do it. Derek showed me bank statements, emails between Amanda and Ryan discussing how to hide the money, text messages about opening offshore accounts. My wife had been planning to leave me for months, stealing from our business to fund her new life with Ryan. "This is wire fraud," Derek said, laying out the documents. "This is embezzlement. This is conspiracy. Nathan, they're going to prison for this." I sat there looking at the evidence, feeling something I hadn't felt in months. Hope. "How did you find all this?" I asked. Ryan got sloppy. He used his personal email for some of the communications. Amanda used her phone, which she didn't realize backed up to a cloud server. Once I knew what I was looking for, it wasn't hard to piece together. Jennifer Cole nearly fell out of her chair when I showed her everything. Nathan, this changes everything. Not only can we defeat Amanda's divorce claims, we can file criminal charges. They could both be looking at 10 to 15 years in federal prison. What about the kids? I asked. If Amanda goes to prison, you'll get full custody automatically. And Nathan, with this evidence, you'll get everything in the divorce. The house, the business, the assets, all of it. I thought about that. Amanda had tried to destroy me. She'd lied about abuse, tried to take my children away, attempted to ruin my reputation and steal my business. Part of me wanted to see her suffer the way she'd made me suffer. But part of me remembered the woman I'd married 17 years ago. The woman who'd held my hand when my father died. The woman who'd stayed up all night with me when we brought Olivia home from the hospital, both of us terrified new parents who had no idea what we were doing. I want to give her one chance, I said finally. One opportunity to come clean, admit what she did, and settle this fairly. Jennifer looked at me like I was insane. Nathan, she tried to destroy you. Why would you give her anything? Because of Olivia and Tyler. They don't need to watch their mother go to prison. They don't need that trauma. If Amanda will admit what she did, split the assets fairly, give me custody, I won't press criminal charges. And if she doesn't, then we bury her. I called Amanda that evening. She answered on the third ring, her voice cold and distant. What do you want, Nathan? I want to talk about the divorce, about settling this without destroying each other. She laughed. There's nothing to settle. You're going to lose everything. Bradley says we have an airtight case. Amanda, please, for the kids, for the 17 years we spent together. Can we just meet? Talk face to face? There was a long pause. Fine. Tomorrow, 1 hour. But Nathan, if you try anything, I won't. I promise. We met at a coffee shop near downtown Portland. Amanda arrived 15 minutes late, wearing designer sunglasses and carrying a handbag that probably cost more than most people's monthly rent. Money she'd stolen, I now knew. She sat down across from me without ordering anything. You have 1 hour. Start talking. I know about Ryan, I said simply. Her face didn't change. I don't know what you're talking about. I know about the affair. I know about the money. I know everything, Amanda. She laughed. You walked in on us one time, Nathan. One time in 17 years. That's not evidence of a pattern. That's not going to help you in court. I pulled out a folder and slid it across the table. That's true. But this will. Amanda opened the folder. I watched her face as she realized what she was looking at. Bank statements. Emails. Text messages. Everything Derek had found. Where did you get this? She whispered. It doesn't matter. What matters is that I have it. Amanda, you and Ryan have been stealing from our company for 2 years. That's federal wire fraud. That's embezzlement. That's conspiracy. You're looking at 15 years in federal prison. She was shaking now. You can't use this. This is illegal surveillance or something. It's all legally obtained, and it's all going to the FBI unless you agree to settle this divorce right now. What do you want? She asked, her voice barely audible. I want the truth. In court. I want you to drop all allegations of abuse. I want full custody of Olivia and Tyler with you getting reasonable visitation. I want my business protected, and I want you to pay back every penny you stole. Amanda's eyes filled with tears. I'll have nothing left. You'll have your freedom. That's more than you deserve. She sat there for a long time, staring at the documents. Finally, she looked up at me. Ryan said this would work. He said you'd never find out. Ryan's an idiot, and you trusted him over me. I'm sorry, she whispered. I don't care about your apologies. Do we have a deal? Amanda nodded slowly. Yes, we have a deal. But Amanda was lying. I should have known. People who lie once will lie again. People who betray you once will do it again the second they think they can get away with it. 2 weeks later, we were back in court for what was supposed to be a settlement hearing. I thought Amanda was going to come clean, admit her mistakes, settle fairly. Instead, she doubled down on her lies. She sat at the plaintiff's table with Bradley Hutchinson, and when Judge Brennan asked if they were prepared to discuss settlement, Bradley stood up and said, Your Honor, my client wishes to proceed to trial. We believe we can prove that Mr. Foster has been hiding assets and engaging in financial fraud." I nearly stood up and screamed. Jennifer grabbed my arm to keep me seated. "Nathan, stay calm," she whispered. "Let them dig their hole deeper." Judge Brennan looked surprised. "Mr. Hutchinson, I was under the impression both parties were willing to negotiate." "That was before we discovered evidence of Mr. Foster's financial misconduct," Bradley said smoothly. "We believe he's been systematically hiding money in offshore accounts and falsifying business records." The accusation was so absurd I almost laughed. They were accusing me of exactly what Amanda and Ryan had been doing. "Your Honor," Jennifer said, standing up, "these allegations are completely baseless and, frankly, defamatory. We'd like to proceed to an immediate hearing where we can present evidence that will clear my client's name and expose the real fraud in this case." "Granted," Judge Brennan said. "We'll reconvene in 2 weeks for a full evidentiary hearing." That 2 weeks felt like a year. Amanda and Bradley were confident. They thought they had me cornered. They thought their accusations would muddy the waters enough that I'd settle just to make it all go away. They had no idea what was coming. The night before the hearing, I sat down with Olivia and Tyler. Amanda had them for the weekend, but I'd arranged a special dinner at their favorite restaurant. "Dad, what's happening with you and Mom?" Olivia asked. She was 15, old enough to understand that something was seriously wrong. "Your mom and I are getting divorced," I said honestly, "and tomorrow there's going to be a court hearing where the judge decides what happens next." "Are you going to be okay?" Tyler asked. He was 12, trying to be brave, but I could see fear in his eyes. "I'm going to be fine," I promised. "Both of you are going to be fine. No matter what happens tomorrow, I love you both more than anything in this world." Olivia started crying. "I just want things to go back to normal." I hugged her tight. "I know, sweetheart. I know." The morning of the hearing, I put on my best suit. Jennifer met me at the courthouse with 3 boxes of evidence. Everything Derek had found, everything we'd compiled over the past months. "This is it," Jennifer said. "Once we present this evidence, there's no going back. Amanda's going to jail. Ryan's going to jail. Are you sure this is what you want?" I thought about my conversation with Olivia and Tyler. I thought about Amanda's lies, her betrayal, her attempt to destroy me even when I'd offered her mercy. "I'm sure," I said. The courtroom filled up quickly. Word had gotten around about the case, and people wanted to see how it ended. Amanda and Bradley arrived looking confident. She was wearing a conservative dress, playing the part of the wronged wife perfectly. Judge Brennan called the court to order. "This is the evidentiary hearing in the matter of Foster versus Foster. Mr. Hutchinson, I believe you wanted to present evidence of financial misconduct?" Bradley stood up, straightening his expensive tie. "Yes, Your Honor. We have documentation that Mr. Foster has been—" "Actually, Your Honor," Jennifer interrupted, standing up. "Before Mr. Hutchinson presents his fabricated evidence, I'd like to submit something to the court." Bradley's face went red. "Objection. Counsel is out of order." "I'll allow it," Judge Brennan said. "Ms. Cole, what do you have?" Jennifer opened the first box and pulled out a thick binder. "Your Honor, we have evidence of a conspiracy between Amanda Foster and Ryan Mitchell to defraud Mr. Foster's business of approximately $1.2 million over a 2-year period. We have bank records, email correspondence, text messages, and witness testimony that proves both parties engaged in wire fraud, embezzlement, and conspiracy." The courtroom erupted. People were gasping, whispering. Amanda's face went from confident to confused to absolutely terrified. Bradley jumped up. "Your Honor, we object to this evidence. We haven't had proper time to review—" "Sit down, Mr. Hutchinson," Judge Brennan said sharply. She was reading the documents Jennifer had submitted, her expression growing darker with each page. "Ms. Cole," the judge said finally, "this appears to show criminal activity." "Yes, Your Honor. We've already notified the FBI. They're prepared to begin criminal proceedings as soon as this hearing concludes." Amanda was shaking. She turned to Bradley and whispered something frantically. Bradley looked at the documents, then at Amanda, then at me. For the first time since this whole nightmare started, I saw fear in his eyes. "Your Honor," Bradley said, his confident tone completely gone, "I'd like to request a recess so my client and I can discuss—" "Denied," Judge Brennan said coldly. "Ms. Foster, did you and Mr. Mitchell embezzle money from your husband's business?" Amanda sat there silently, tears streaming down her face. "Ms. Foster, I asked you a question." I invoke my Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination, Amanda whispered. Judge Brennan slammed her gavel. This court is shocked and appalled by these revelations. Ms. Foster, you came into my courtroom claiming to be a victim of abuse while you were actually engaged in criminal fraud against your husband. You've wasted this court's time with false allegations while attempting to steal from the man you vowed to love and honor. Your Honor, please, Bradley started. I'm not finished, Mr. Hutchinson. In fact, I have questions for you as well. Did you know about this fraud? Bradley went pale. Your Honor, I only know what my client told me. Did you perform any due diligence? Did you investigate her claims at all, or did you just file whatever paperwork she asked for because she was paying your exorbitant fees? Bradley had no answer. Judge Brennan turned to me. Mr. Foster, I owe you an apology. This court has allowed you to be dragged through months of baseless accusations. I'm prepared to rule immediately if you're ready to proceed. I stood up. Your Honor, before you rule, I'd like to say something. The judge nodded. Go ahead. I looked at Amanda. She wouldn't meet my eyes. I loved you, I said. For 17 years I loved you. I built a life with you. I trusted you with everything I had. And you destroyed it all for money and a man who wasn't worth a fraction of what we had together. Amanda was sobbing now. Nathan, please. I gave you a chance to make this right, I continued. 2 weeks ago, I offered you a deal. You could have admitted what you did, settled fairly, and moved forward with some dignity. Instead, you chose to double down on your lies. You chose to accuse me of the very crimes you committed. So now you get nothing. You get exactly what you tried to give me. Nothing. The courtroom was completely silent. Judge Brennan cleared her throat. Mr. Foster, do you have any final words before I render my decision? I pulled one more document from my jacket pocket. Actually, yes. I'd like to submit this as evidence. I handed it to Jennifer, who passed it to the bailiff. Judge Brennan opened it and read quickly. Her eyes widened. Is this what I think it is? She asked. Yes, Your Honor. That's a signed confession from Ryan Mitchell. He's agreed to testify against Amanda in exchange for a reduced sentence. He's already in FBI custody. Amanda's face went completely white. She looked like she might pass out. Bradley Hutchinson dropped his pen. Ryan Mitchell has provided a detailed account of the entire fraud scheme, I continued. He's explained how Amanda initiated the plan, how she helped him set up the shell companies, how she planned to divorce me and split the stolen money with him. He's given the FBI everything. Judge Brennan read through the document carefully. When she finished, she looked at Amanda with pure disgust. Ms. Foster, you are a liar, a thief, and a fraud. I am granting Mr. Foster full custody of the minor children. I am awarding him 100% of all marital assets, including the family home and his business. You will repay every penny you stole, plus interest and damages. Furthermore, I am recommending to the district attorney that you be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. She banged her gavel. This hearing is concluded. The courtroom erupted again. People were shouting. Reporters were running for the exits to file their stories. Amanda collapsed in her chair, sobbing uncontrollably. Bradley Hutchinson was already packing his briefcase, probably trying to figure out how to distance himself from this disaster. Jennifer hugged me. We won, Nathan. We won everything. I watched Amanda being led out of the courtroom by FBI agents who'd been waiting in the hallway. She looked back at me once, her face destroyed by tears and mascara, and mouthed the words, I'm sorry. Too late, I thought. Way too late. That evening, I picked up Olivia and Tyler from school. They ran to me, hugging me tight. Dad, we heard what happened, Olivia said. Is Mom really going to jail? Probably, I said honestly. She did some very bad things, sweetie. Are we going to be okay? Tyler asked. I knelt down so I was at their level. We're going to be more than okay. We're going to be great. I promise you both. We're going to get through this together. That night, the three of us sat in our living room, our actual home that was legally mine again, and we watched movies and ate pizza. It wasn't perfect. The kids were still processing everything. They had questions I couldn't always answer. But we were together. We were safe. And we were home. 3 months later, Amanda pleaded guilty to wire fraud and embezzlement. She got 8 years in federal prison. Ryan Mitchell got 12, since he had prior convictions for financial crimes that came to light during the investigation. Bradley Hutchinson was disbarred for failing to properly investigate his client's claims and for knowingly filing false allegations. He's working as a paralegal now, making a fraction of what he used to earn. My business recovered. With Ryan gone and the stolen money slowly being repaid through the criminal restitution process, we actually grew. I hired new partners, good people who shared my values. Within 6 months, we were more profitable than ever. Olivia and Tyler adjusted surprisingly well. We did family therapy every week, working through their feelings about their mother's crimes and incarceration. They visit Amanda once a month at the federal facility where she's serving her sentence. I drive them there and wait in the car. I've never spoken to her again. Sometimes late at night, I think about how close I came to losing everything. If I hadn't hired Derek Walsh, if I hadn't found the evidence, if I just accepted Amanda's lies and walked away, she would have won. She would have taken my kids, my business, my life. But I fought back. I did it the right way, with evidence and truth and the law on my side. And in the end, justice prevailed. If you're going through something similar, if someone you trust is trying to destroy you with lies, don't give up. Document everything. Find the truth. Fight for what's yours. Because sometimes the people who hurt us the most are the ones we never saw coming. And sometimes the only way to win is to let the truth speak for itself. If this story resonated with you, please drop a comment below sharing your thoughts. Have you ever had to fight for the truth in a difficult situation? How did it turn out? I'd love to hear your experiences. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more stories like this one. Hit that like button if you want to see Nathan's story continue, because there's still more to tell about rebuilding life after betrayal. Thanks for watching, and remember, the truth always wins in the end. You just have to be patient enough to let it.